let's come to the next topic. Read this thing for me before we go.
Post-retirement contract suspension must go further. Editorial News Center.
Okay.
President John Dramani Mahama's recent suspension of post-retirement contract appointments for retired public servants marks a significant and commendable intervention in Ghana's public sector management. The directive, which holds the increasingly controversial practice with immediate effect, is a bold response to a long-standing issue that has silently crippled youth employment and needlessly ballooned the national wage bill. For years, the public service has become a revolving door for retirees, many well beyond the retirement age of 60, who manage to secure contract extensions under the guise of indispensable experience. While institutional memory is valuable, this unchecked trend has clogged the pipeline for fresh talent and strained the public purse.
Okay.
Ghana's wage bill is already one of the heaviest items in the national budget.
True.
Continuing to pay salaries to individuals who should have exited the system only adds unnecessary pressure on public finances. Worse still, it undermines fairness and efficiency in hiring practices. The suspension of these post-retirement contracts is therefore a prudent fiscal decision as much as it is a moral one. Youth unemployment remains one of the gravest challenges facing Ghana today. Thousands of highly qualified, energetic, and ambitious young Ghanaians are eager to serve their country but are consistently met with closed doors, largely because those jobs remain occupied by individuals long past their prime working years. This generational mismatch is more than just unfair, it is unsustainable. A dynamic and responsive public service must evolve, and that evolution requires space for new entrants. President Mahama's directive sends a clear message. It is time to prioritize the next generation. The editorial team also notes with concern the procedural irregularities that have allowed some retirees to secure contracts through presidential influence, bypassing the legal requirement that such requests be handled by the head of the civil service. The president's move helps to restore administrative order and reinforce the authority of the civil service structure. More importantly, it reaffirms Article 1911 of the 1992 Constitution, which clearly states that public officers must retire at 60 with very limited exceptions. Ghana is a country of laws, and no one, no matter how experienced, well connected, should operate outside the law. While this suspension is a welcome move, it should not be the end of the road. The president must now take the next logical step and cancel all existing post-retirement contracts that do not meet the strict criteria of critical necessity as outlined in the law. This policy must be institutionalized and enforced consistently across all ministries, departments, and agencies.
Okay.
Without a permanent solution, future administrations may reverse this progress.
So Elvis Daku is saying this must go beyond. I thought some very important people who work for us are above 60 in certain key areas.
Yes.
But the general consensus seems to be this is a good policy. Do you think it's a good policy?
I think it's long overdue.
Long overdue.
Yeah, it's long overdue, and we are even fortunate that they said suspension and not cancellation.
Oh.
They said suspension, meaning that there's a remote possibility of the thing being restored in another form. Okay, but if it's cancellation, I'll still go for that. You have always known that at post age 60, you are going on retirement. It's nothing new to you. And when people are assured of an extension of their tenure, it actually disables the process of passing on, to the next succession planning. You understand? I know that I am here. I turn 60 in next month, but I have been promised a 2 to 5 year contract.
Right.
Why would I be thinking of succession planning? And if you are not thinking of growing the next generation, how do you build a business? And indeed, when he leaves and something goes wrong with the company, who told you that he cares about it anyway? So if it's 60, it should be 60. We should be more concerned about those who are at the periphery, who are now trying to enter the job market with a high level of uncertainty.
So we should push the young people in more.
Yes, we should create more spaces for the younger people and create more avenues for businesses. Now, when you create more avenues for businesses, the retired 61-year-old person also has an opportunity to go into a certain business of their choice.
Or they can even be your board member and help you with
Yes.
guidance at the top.
Exactly.
Not necessarily now running the company.
As for the thing of you have been here and you are 60 and we give you contract, it should be even criminalized.
But you know the problem though, sometimes what you've said is true. I can't disagree with you. My only issue is that there are a few people who've been appointed recently. For example, today the Herald mentions two. The IGP is 59 supposedly, and the ECG boss apparently is 60 in February, and he was even appointed after his 60th birthday. So how are you going to live with those two things?
That should tell you that the policy maker is not being selfish. It's not thinking about today. It's thinking about the medium to longer term.
Well, does that mean what I don't understand? So that because the paper is then saying that on the basis of this, the IGP probably has less than a year to stay in office. But why do you appoint?
I'm not so as in dismissing what you say.
I'm getting somewhere. What's the point in appointing somebody who's 59, who will be 60 in like 6 months?
Yes. It's to buy time to make a more substantive appointment. You can say that.
Okay. What about the ECG guy? If it's true that he's close to 60 or even 60 already, that's going to be strange, right? Because
the current ECG guy,
according to the story, he was 60 on February. It was 60 February 2025.
Oh, me say Julius, you grow like that. That's my mate actually. So
because you are not yet 60.
No, not at all.
So my concern
Julius, Charlie, you grew like that.
Sometimes we don't know if the Herald has his real age, but the Herald is claiming that he was 60 in February, and the guy was appointed in March.
Oh, Julius, no, I have to ask him.
You get me? So it's one way. So why do you appoint somebody who's already 60?
That's a question to be answered.
If that policy is something,
that's a question. No, that's a question to be answered. But I want to go beyond this because it will sort itself out. But in the longer term, I am saying that when you are working, you've always known in the public service that once you hit 60, the next thing is retirement. Who doesn't know this?
But
now, when people
if you are very good at your job and you are
energetic, super! Thanks for that point. If you are very good at your job, that gives you the opportunity to go and establish a consultancy.
Oh, Samuel.
Why not? But why are you so good at your job? Say in the trade ministry. Hang on. In the trade ministry,
yes.
You are so good that you can't form a consultancy to provide services to the whole industry of the trade ministry, but it has to be in the ministry alone. Who told you that? But how good can you be if you can't extend it? I am saying that they can't have any argument to reverse this thing.
This is a very good policy.
It is super good that you see.
Okay,
they can be engaged in different forms. Don't get me wrong. But as for the extension, that is automatic extension, it is born out of favoritism.
That's wrong.
And it is corruption.
Yes.
We should stop it.
For the automatic extension, but this is the other point. Could it be that there's so much pressure on the government, this new government, to make appointments that they've had to say this so that the first batch of appointees who are close to 60 will probably leave in a year or two.
But if that were the case, then it's a good thing. Yeah, if that were the case, then it's a good thing.
And you are 59, so in 6 months time you are going. Then they'll bring somebody else. They'll say, at least we give you 6 months. So if you take it like that.
No, you see, we can always have a way to engage. For instance, look, this person you talk about, we mentioned.
You will know, and then
yeah, Julius Pekwena, who said that he cannot be put on the board if indeed the government is interested in keeping him in the system.
Okay.
It can be placed on a board. That's what I'm saying.
Wouldn't you say it's much better for the government to look for someone who's 52 years old or 55 and give him the job so that he gets time
48.
I agree.
48.
No, I agree with you that again with the benefit of this new directive.
Yeah.
I don't think that once this directive has been established, the government going forward is going to appoint somebody who is 59.
Okay, so possibly the appointments prior to the directive were
Yeah.
not well thought through.
I mean,
Or now that they've seen that,
because maybe now they've evaluated the thing and they have seen that these 50, 60 people, they are causing too much problems. So now because
no, you seem to have some background. The way you're talking is funny. It's like
because me look, the guy who is now you interviewed him. The narcotics deputy director general.
Yes,
no, DJ.
Chum
No. Sanda interviewed him.
Yeah, Chum
Sanda interviewed him.
He used to run an NGO called Solidaire.
Okay.
Solidaire. He
I've
was
heard
with
of
her. He's been raising this matter in the last 2 to 5 years.
Oh, really?
About this, I'm telling you can check.
About this.
Thing extending contract for people, I've never met him before, but I've read things from him.
Right.
But I'm just saying that it's nothing new. Okay, but the concern is a real concern.
Right.
You are there, and then you have a minister who now says that because you have been good to me.
It was being abused.
Yes,
It was being abused.
yes. So
The best way to do it is to suspend it.
if they are good enough, they should form a consortium so that they come and provide service, so that they are paid as consultants.
apply to put
That
on the
in
board.
fact, that's even more sustainable.
But I hope this doesn't apply to board. You can be above 60, right?
Oh yes, of course.
Okay.
But there's a message here. In my opinion, the policy of not extending employment contracts beyond retirement age in the public sector is not the most effective approach. On average, it takes a Ghanaian graduate between 3 to 10 years to secure a job after school, with most graduating around the age of 25. This means the typical working period spans roughly 26 years, during which one is expected to progress from low-paying jobs to higher-paying ones. When you consider the average age of marriage in Ghana, it is relatively high. It becomes clear that many individuals only begin to attain financial stability and and accumulate valuable experience around the age of 60. It seems counterproductive to retire people just when they become most valuable to the workforce. You say.
Charlie, the other people too are in the pipeline.
That be the whole story.
That's the whole story.
That be the
That
be the whole this
It's a very Ghanaian thing.
In some state-owned agencies, they are appointed as consultants a day before their retirement to do the same work they were doing before retirement. The president should punish state-owned enterprises who practice that. It is as if to say there is no one else in the company mentored or trained for the job.
They have suspended it. You won't come again. They have suspended it. You won't come again. And this thing of they are going to provide valuable service. They are going to provide what? The person has been there
It's a
for 30
institutional
years.
memory.
The person has been there for 30 years.
Right.
He did not change the fortunes of the organization, but the 2-year extension is what to change it. What logic is that?
Stabilization.
No, they should
go.
Some 30 years he got enough time to stabilize. We the young people want jobs.
They should go.
We the young people want to serve our country. We want
the
their
pipeline
chance.
must move.
The pipeline must move.
Yeah,
The young, it's
you
our
know,
time.
There also came the debate about extending the retirement age from 60 to 65.
Yeah.
You understand? So it looks to me like it's always to provide comfort to the older people. How about the young people? How about the young people?
But 60 old.
No, it is
Yes.
what
I'm
you
just
see.
checking. I'm not sure.
Actually,
No,
not.
It's old, please.
well, of course, relatively it's
Because
old.
as
But what I'm
15
saying is that
in 17 years,
You'll
time,
be
I'll be
60.
60. And I'm asking myself, in
Hey,
17
so
years,
70 years old.
but
you'll be
it does not disqualify you from pursuing your own business.
so
This
you are
is what we
saying
should
that
know.
at 60 you don't need to be employed in the state agency working as whatever.
Yeah, we are saying
Why
that.
should you be there?
Unless you have some very specific expertise that maybe you are needed there.
How?
Maybe you are the only.
Tell me one
Let me give
specific
you an example.
expertise
Let
that
me-
only one person
Let me give
has.
you an example. In the medical field, there are some
Surgeons.
there are some specializations that less than 5 people in the whole country have.
Do you know why they call them consultants?
So they are above 60. They still give them the work. They still do. Okay, that's true too.
But let me
And
wish.
another place I'll say that it might be useful to keep this in academia.
A lot of them who teach, yes.
Those type of things, because they are teaching, they are doing certain things. That might be the only exception. But if you are doing a certain type of job. I think it's very difficult.
They rather feel you self past.
They will mafia you.
There will be exceptions.
It's okay.
So what I'm saying is that the automatic extension, that contracting,
we agree with you
we should give it
100%.
to Zoom Lion to go and ball it.
We agree with you 100%.